Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. Last year, October, Ms. Amina Mohammed, UN Deputy Secretary General, visited Kenya and held talks with William Ruto at State House, Nairobi. Upon her return to New York, she gave a verdict on William Ruto, ruthless and cannot be trusted. That's very interesting. In this video, I want us to dig deep into this story, in which I'll explain why I strongly believe the international community might be setting up William Ruto for a possible warrant of arrest from ICC. But before we dig deep into that, let's have a look at the story as captured by Nation. Yes. Nation had this to say: President Ruto is ruthless. I don't trust him. A trove of highly confidential documents leaked from the US military's tightly guarded registries has thrashed Kenya on the path of a potential diplomatic storm, as they suggest that at least one member of the United Nations UN top brass has a deep mistrust for President William Ruto. The unidentified man allegedly leaked the data in batches starting last year, posting them in a social media group under Discord, an instant messaging social platform where most members did not understand what was being dumped. In one of the conversations that seemingly occurred after the December 2022 African Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C., Ms. Mohammed allegedly told her boss, Mr. Guterres, that President William Ruto is ruthless and that she does not trust him. The comments, however, have revealed a possible paper-thin relationship between the UN and Kenya after Dr. Ruto's ascent to power following August 9, 2022 presidential election. On the diplomatic level, where every uttered word counts, Ms. Mohammed's alleged comments may spark a nasty storm, as they could also be interpreted to be the UN stand. That's the story as captured by Nation. So the Deputy Secretary General was in Kenya last year, held talks with William Ruto, and gave a verdict: ruthless and cannot be trusted. What's going on here, ladies and gentlemen? If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's continue. Yes, let me start by saying this. When a top-ranking UN official, such as Ms. Amina Mohammed, makes such remarks on Kenya's president, then that spells doom for Kenya in terms of investor confidence, aid, and even on world ranking. Yes. So Kenya can suffer as a result of that opinion by UN Deputy Secretary General. And if you look at Amina Mohammed, Miss Amina Mohammed, she has roots in Nigeria. The father is a Nigerian, the mother is British. She has lived in Africa, and she has been even a minister in Nigeria. So she understands very well the African politics. So when she says she does not trust William Ruto, she might be knowing something that maybe the foreign powers might not be knowing. And now that she's the Deputy Secretary General, she can influence the international community to look at William Ruto from a negative side, rather from a negative perspective. So what are the games being played here, ladies and gentlemen? The first possible game being played here, it might be possible that the international community are setting up William Ruto for a possible warrant of arrest being issued against him. Ruto might make another stab to ICC. And I'm saying that because looking at what is currently happening in Kenya, if nothing is done urgently and done in the right way, Ruto might once again find himself at Hague, or rather in the Netherlands-based court in Hague. Why am I saying that? If you want to kill a dog, you first give it a bad name. It's obvious that as I talk, the Azimio Brigade, Azimio has written a letter to ICC. Azimio wants ICC to start investigations in Kenya over what has so far happened during the demonstrations. If you look on how Kenya has handled the demonstrations, it has been a very big failure on the side of William Ruto as the president. The police has messed up big time to a point we have seen innocent, peaceful demonstrators being shot dead. We have seen several Kenyans being maimed. We have seen past private properties being raided. From where I sit, these are occurrences that can warrant ICC's attention. So it might be possible Ms. Amina Mohammed might just be clearing the path for ICC to actually zoom on Kenya. That's the first possible game I'm seeing being played behind the scene. Secondly, it might be possible that the international community that supported William Ruto during August presidential election, they might be making a U-turn on him. They didn't know him, but now as the president, they are knowing him better, and they are not liking him. One such reason is that maybe they're looking at what Ruto, the promises Ruto made when he was campaigning and what he's doing right now, the promises William Ruto might have made to them, because I'm seeing a William Ruto is very desperate to please the West. I'm seeing a William Ruto who maybe in their meetings, he might be a yes sir kind of a person. Anything maybe the West says during their meetings, I'm seeing a William Ruto saying yes. But after saying yes, he never goes on to deliver. So the West, the international community, might be losing trust and faith in him. So they're just trying to expose him early in advance. Another possible game plan, it might also be possible that with the intelligence from the West and this international community, they know William Ruto is becoming very unpopular on the ground. He is losing support each passing day. And that's very true. And even if you were to do a scientific survey, you'll most definitely realize that. So they are saying William Ruto is not having a very bright political future, and Ruto might not help them realize or fulfill their interests in Africa and more so in Kenya. So they're just dumping him. They're laying out strategies of dumping him. That's exactly what I'm seeing here, ladies and gentlemen. Above all, as I conclude, this should be a warning. Rather, this should be a warning message or a very worrying message to William Ruto. Things are not very bright for him now that we are seeing turmoil, political turmoil, economic turmoil in Kenya. Ruto has to tread very carefully, especially that now Azimio has announced that they might resume the demonstrations after Ramadan. He has to make sure his government is very restrained on how they deal with the peaceful demonstrators. He might be on the radar of the international community. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet in our next analysis.